if you want to manifest something, let's say a relationship, a house, or a job, you need to live from the end. That means to ignore your current unwanted circumstances and to think and feel as if what you desire is already yours. But what if there's a specific negative thing that you're really struggling to ignore? Did you know that you can actually use that negative thing, the one that you cannot ignore, to manifest your desire even faster? Watch this video until the end to find out how. What's up, superheroes? Welcome back to my channel, the place where we make the impossible possible. I'm Scarlett Grace from UnseenSeraph.com. I'm a manifestation coach here to help you manifest your wildest desires with the law of attraction. If you're new here and you want to learn how to manifest any desire fast with the law of attraction and Neville Goddard's teachings, then start now by hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you won't miss any video that could change your life. And if you need some extra help to manifest those big desires, I have several self-study courses that you can join and complete at your own pace. You can find the links in the description below for all of those. Coaching is currently closed until August, but I will let you know when it reopens again. So let's talk about living from the end and what to do when you have a circumstance that you really struggle to ignore. The advice that I usually give, and the advice most manifestation coaches will give you when it comes to how to manifest a specific desire that you have, is that you need to live from the end. Now, let me very briefly explain what that means for those of you that haven't heard about this concept before. Living from the end means embodying the feelings and the thoughts that you would have if the desire was already yours. Or to put it in another way, when you don't have a desire, when you don't have a thing, let's say that you want a house. If you don't have the house yet, you may be thinking about it, but you're not thinking from it. You're thinking about having a house. In order to manifest something, you need to stop thinking about the house and you need to start thinking from having the house. So basically, in your mind, you pretend that you already have the house. You've already bought it, you've already found it, you're already living in that house. And you approach reality from that perspective of, it is already mine. This happened already in the past. And this is how you manifest something. And in order for this to work, you need to ignore your current reality. You need to ignore the circumstances in your current reality that say that this thing is not yours yet. This is what we mean when we say live from the end in order to manifest something. If you're interested to learn more about this, I have a whole playlist explaining how to live from the end and how to ignore your current circumstances. I'm going to link it in the description below as well as up to the right, so feel free to go and check out those videos after you finish watching this video. Now look, I'm not saying that living from the end doesn't work to manifest your desires. It works perfectly. But you may have noticed that even if you're a good manifester, sometimes you want to manifest something and you succeed to ignore most of your current reality, but there is this one thing that keeps triggering you. And this is very common when it comes to money and when it comes to a specific person. Let's say, for example, that you want a specific person. This is an ex and you want this person back, and they're currently dating somebody else. And you're trying to ignore that they're dating somebody else because you are living from the end of me and this person are together already. We are back together already. And you may be able to ignore the fact that this person exists most of the time, but then they drive by your house and you happen to be looking out of the window when they do that, and that reminds you that, oh, they're still together. And this pulls you out of the state of living from the end. And getting pulled out of your state is not a bad thing as long as it doesn't last too long. But the problem is that when something triggers us, we may go out of our state for several hours, for days, even for weeks for some people. And this doesn't help you manifest your desire. So what do you do? Here's where another Neville Goddard technique comes in. And the technique is, I remember when. So the first step is, if you can ignore your current circumstances using the advice from all my other videos about how to live from the end and how to ignore your current circumstances, do that. But if you stumble upon something that truly triggers you and you cannot ignore it. You just struggle to ignore it and cannot. You use this technique instead. You use the I remember when technique. The I remember when technique is very, very simple. The I remember when technique is you take something from your current reality that is a problem. So let's go with the same example. You want a specific ex back. This ex is dating somebody else. You struggle to ignore the fact that there is a third party. So instead of trying to pretend that the third party doesn't exist at all, what you do is you take that fact and you tell yourself, oh, I remember when I used to worry because John was my ex and he was dating this other person, this third party. And I didn't know if they would ever actually break up so that I could have him back. This has all changed now because now we're together. So this is how it works. You take the problem, you don't tell yourself I need to ignore it, I need to pretend it isn't there. What you do is you move it into the past. So you fully acknowledge that this situation existed at some point. There was a third party and you were really worried about that third party. It was triggering your insecurities. But instead of telling yourself this is happening right now and I need to do something about it, you pretend that it happened in the past and now it's the future and this has already been resolved. And you switch your emotions to, oh, I feel so good that I'm not living there anymore. Like I remember how it felt to worry about this thing, but I'm so relieved now. This is in the past and I'm so happy that this is in the past. And that's all you have to do. So with this technique, you don't have to struggle to ignore the thing that you don't want. You just push it into the past. It is something that it is already resolved. And you can do the same thing for any kind of desire. So let's take the desire to manifest a specific house or your dream house. You haven't found the house yet, or maybe you don't have the money for the house. Whatever the problem is, the one that brings you down, the one that makes you go out of the state of the wish fulfilled and start worrying again, well, you take that and you go like, oh, I remember when I didn't have my dream house yet. I remember how worried I was about the money and how I was going to manifest that house and how circumstances were against me. It's so funny because all of those were resolved miraculously. Things are so much different now. Now I have my house. I've been living in it for a while. It's so awesome. So you can do that with any kind of desire that you want. The benefit of the I remember when technique is, first of all, it immediately puts you in the state of the wish fulfilled. So when you use the I remember when technique, because you pretend that this is the future and you're looking back to when you still worried about this thing, when you still were trying to manifest this thing, but hadn't successfully manifested it yet, that means that you're approaching life and what is going on from the position of living from the end. Your desire is already granted now, and you look back to when it hadn't been granted yet, when it hadn't manifested yet. So the I remember when technique immediately, right away, in a few seconds, puts you in the state of the wish fulfilled. That's the first benefit. The second benefit of this technique is that you can actually take advantage of when something unwanted grabs your attention in your reality, and instead of trying to push it away, you just use the I remember when technique to manifest even faster, to manifest that desire faster. Because I remember when is not just a trick to not get triggered. There are people who manifest exclusively using the I remember when technique. It's just another manifestation technique. So when you use it, when you get triggered by something, you can actually use that thing, that negative thing, to manifest your desire even faster than you would normally manifest it. So it's a win-win. And the third benefit is it's very simple to do. It doesn't require visualization. It doesn't take up a lot of time. You don't have to do it out loud. You can do it out loud if you like, or you can do it in your mind. So you can do it anywhere. You can do it at work. You can do it while driving. You can do it while having drinks with friends. You can do it at home. And it only takes a few seconds, so it's a very handy technique. You can pull out and use at any point during the day, as many times as you want. It doesn't require any special skills. It's just overall so easy to use, and it puts you into the state of the wish fulfilled immediately and speeds up the time it takes to manifest your desires, so it manifests faster. So there you have it, the trick to actually use your negative circumstances to manifest your desires even faster. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon because I put out new videos every Sunday to help you manifest an amazing life.